Welcome to the Stellar Design Award 2025, where India's most creative minds compete for the ultimate title of design excellence. This isn't just another college event, it's a national stage for the boldest ideas, the sharpest aesthetics, and the brightest future of design. From groundbreaking concepts to jaw-dropping visuals.
Some ideas start with a pencil, some with a question. At Sasi Creative Institute of Design, they grow into more than just a plan. For bringing visuals to life with dynamic storytelling, the Game Changer in Motion Graphics Award goes to Chirag Shah.
What's your most exciting project so far?
One client called and said that we have taken the Burj Khalifa on rent because they have a digital display board. So you can run your content on the Burj Khalifa, and they're taken a 3-minute slot, and the whole world will see what we create on the largest billboard on the world, right? So I think it was interesting because imagine whatever you're creating in a computer screen will be blown up to nearly 1 kilometer of height, and we had great fun making it. And we did one, then we got one more, and then it went on and on and on.
What skills do you need for a career in advertising?
To stay curious, to keep trying and get better at tools. When I say tools, today it can be a tablet with a pencil, tomorrow it can be Blender. But I think skill upgradation is the number one skill needed right now, because you can be a paper sketch artist, but your work will not be transferred onto something because you are not adept at adapting to different formats.
Would you like to say a few words about today's ceremony?
I love Tamil Nadu. In that, I love Coimbatore. In this, I like this college, and I think that I see here a lot of enthusiasm, promise, nostalgic to come here to a design college where they teach the fundamentals of color, shape, psychology, sketching, and art form. Yeah, it's nice. It's humbling.
For their outstanding commitment to sustainable and eco-friendly design, the Champions of Environmental Architecture Award goes to Srinath Gautam and Vinod Kumar.
General public think that these earthen buildings, they don't last long, right? Like concrete buildings and all. Is that true?
No, of course. Like you could see, all our ancestral buildings are still existing now. It is because of the materials they have used. The materials and technique. My grandfather's house is still existing. It's been almost 50 years. So it is a big house. So it is made up of brick with lime mortar, and there are terrace roof. It is being plastered with lime, but it is standing. So that is because of the material they have. So, and also it lives. We could say Taj Mahal is still living because of its property of the material. So they say the Taj Mahal life is being increased from the start of the construction because of its breach. So when you say in the convention concrete buildings, the lifespan comes back after certain years. If the quality of the construction is very good, then it can withstand up to 80 years. Otherwise, if the quality is lesser, then the building of the concrete building is lesser than lifespan.
How can traditional earthen techniques be adapted in an urban setting?
Right now we can see there are a lot of difference in terms of the people mentality itself. People are going towards organic. Even though they're sitting in the modern lifestyle, they wanted to have a feel and touch of the traditions into their lifestyle, in terms of clothing, in terms of food and health. So there are a lot of possibilities where we can involve the traditional techniques to their house itself. It need not to be a complete tradition, it can be a fusion way of also. And even in complete techniques, like the people who we are, like a lot of team like us, who has been doing it, we can be able to see, randomly witness certain building which is completely earthen in the complete modern setup also. It is possible. And also to the lifespan of the modern contextual way how we live, it can able to withstand, it can able to support the. So it's more like we have to choose the techniques, how to use it. What all techniques will be suitable in terms of less maintenance, more durable, like the more adaptive to their lifestyle particularly. So it's all about the way how we design, the way how we choose the material, give a lot of care to the people who stays inside.
For redefining digital experience with bold creativity, the Game Changer in UI UX Award goes to Anurit Kaur.
We have Ms. Anurit Kaur with us today, who is the principal product designer of YUJ Designs. If students would like to join companies like top-tier companies like Google, Apple or Microsoft, what are the practices that need to follow?
So I think when students graduate from the colleges, I think they should focus on getting their foundation correct, like the basics correct, because I think that is what would take them on a long term would take them. When students graduate from design colleges, I feel that they should have their basics in place, like if the foundation is correct and like on a long term trajectory, I think that is what keeps them afloat. And I feel when you're very fresh out of the design school, you should not think a lot about big names or big companies like Apple, Microsoft, Google. Right? So you should only focus on one step at a time. How can I do well today, and how can I do well tomorrow and in my current project? And as and when you proceed further, and if you're doing well on a constant basis, so in no time you will see yourself in maybe companies like Microsoft or Apple.
For designing spaces that flow effortlessly and inspire movement, the Master of Fluid Architecture Award goes to Manish Gulati.
What inspired you to start a firm that focuses on fluid architecture?
Fluid to me is an idea. It's not the form or the geometry. It's formless. So it never has a certain definite form or a tag is what fluidity is to us.
So do you think clients are open to such creative new ideas?
We all have a little child inside us, everybody. And for us, it's important to tap that inner child. So when you work with the clients, we don't talk about big stuff. We don't talk about big architecture building. We talk about the basic needs of every client.
Right.
And to touch at that level and to translate that like a child is what fluidity is. And it does not translate always into a fluid form, but it translates into a fluid idea.
So would you like to share a few words about the award ceremony that happened today?
I always love going to the academic institutions and I love speaking to students. So I saw the same thing out here. Pretty much they have that innocence, they have that urge to learn something new, to create something new, and there's always innovation, ideas, and that's very refreshing. And that was the same thing out here today.
For crafting inspiring and innovative interiors that transform spaces, the Excellence in Interior Design Award goes to Priya Rose and Rahul Matthew.
How would you describe your signature design style?
It's not like we have a signature design style. Every project is different, every context is different, every client is different. None of our two projects, I feel like we can probably say that look similar in style, or it's very unique to its context and its people. I think it's really great that you not just restrict to, like one discipline like architecture or design, like it's all coming together, and I think it's very beneficial for the students, and the presentations that awardees were doing were also very inspiring. I think you guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
For a remarkable legacy of inspiring innovation and dedication in architecture, the Lifetime Achievement Award goes to Chitra Vishwanath.
So we have architect Chitra Vishwanath with us today. She's the principal architect, founder and MD of Biome Environmental. There's a belief that sustainable architecture is expensive. How would you address that?
Well, I cannot address a belief if it's not been practiced.
Okay.
We practice that ecological architecture should not be more expensive than conventional ones because then it doesn't make sense.
Can sustainable architecture be applied to existing buildings?
So it's a retrofitting and it can be done. And that depends upon what are the parameters you're going to look for and work on that.
So how is your experience so far at Sasi School of Architecture?
Very interesting. It's nice to come to a school you've heard about. I like this small community which is here and very interesting work.
For crafting compelling narratives that connect fashion with culture, the Storyteller in Fashion Communication Award goes to Hina Sukhani.
Do you think natural dyeing can be commercially viable on a larger scale? Why or why not?
Natural dyes depend a lot on the plants that you're getting and how they're growing. So even if you're adding like some sort of fertilizer into the plant, the marigolds that grow in my area will be a little bit different in color than the ones that are growing in your area because the soil is different for us. People are more aware about all these things, then it can be commercial viable, but I would say that we should not make it commercially viable because vegetable waste also produces a little bit of color. But when it comes to materials like indigo specifically, like I'm wearing indigo today, indigo is a very harsh. Once you grow indigo on a field, you cannot grow any other crop for the next 5 years after that.
How has your experience been so far in Sasi?
I think it's been really fun. The students are really enthusiastic, they're very sweet. We saw the work, so much of talent. I looked at foundation year students' work, even architecture, not just fashion. They've done an exceptional job. They're so patient with what they do and it reflects on their work. Thank you so much for inviting.
For redefining contemporary Indian fashion with bold innovation and timeless craftsmanship, the Trailblazer in Fashion Design Award goes to Vivek Karunakaran.
What was the most challenging aspect in the industry for you and how did you overcome?
I think it was to perhaps convince my family and especially my parents to make them understand that there is something called fashion and it is worth chasing. I think the parents are a little more happier, more open-minded to let their kids do or chase something that they want to do. One thing I decided when in high school or rather early college was that I didn't want to go the path that everyone else did, which was either to be a doctor or an engineer. I think fortunately that was a time when Aishwarya or Sushmita, one of them had won the crown, which made me exposed to this idea of fashion. So put in the hard work, be extremely passionate about it, because passion doesn't come with conditions. You have to invest yourself in what you have decided to do with your future, because it's something that you've decided to do. So invest yourself and take responsibility of that decision that you've made and do it wholeheartedly.
For pushing the boundaries of design with smart, tech-driven architecture, the Innovator in Technological Architecture Award goes to Neresh Sharma.
What's one tech trend that will redefine architecture in the next decade, sir?
One thing that goes out in mind is AI-driven architecture. But then talking about technology, I would not just like to limit it to a tool, which is AI. Technology is something which is very, very meaningful. I'll just give an example of a project we just completed, last year. Convention hall, one of the biggest ones, globally and technologically advanced. So here we have seating system, which is hydraulic. So the 6,000 seating capacity means that the seats that can go up and down. Advantage is like, imagine if the 6,000 capacity auditorium, audience requirement is only 2,000, this place will look empty. So we can have two functions. So that's a functional advantage that technology is giving. So likewise, another example, arena building, it's 20,000 capacity, but we have a retractable roofing system that the roof holds a circular plan. So the roof can retract, open like a camera shutter, open and close. So that means depending on the weather conditions, the functions can be optimized and be, whether utilized for the daylight in good environment, or we need to have closed environment, so we can look into such purposes. So technology is also, very, very purpose-driven, and such purpose-driven technology will always remain the trend, As I went through the studios of the students' work, and as I was guided to, in fact, I was so impressed to see the works being done by the first year students or the first semester students. And I really felt the difference. The difference I felt was probably also because of the fact that here we don't just have architecture as curriculum, we also have design well imbibed into the same institute. That means there's so much of learning from students to students and faculty to faculty.
To the visionaries redefining the creative world, and to the students just beginning their journey, this moment belongs to you. This is Sasi